David Barry reporting for Jewish Online Magazine. Our special guest this morning is Shachar, a very well respected builder in northwest London. Good morning, Shachar.
Good morning, Barry.
This is probably the earliest interview I've ever undertaken. I think it's probably 5:15 in the morning, and we've just completed our sunrise morning davening.
Yeah.
What motivates you, Shachar, to daven so early in the morning?
Don't know. Don't know. It's just something that I started years ago. Well, years ago, when this meeting actually started, about 4 or 5 years ago, in summertime, and it just sort of caught on, and that's how it's. I can't think of a reason, but that's how it started. I find it very difficult to get up in the morning. That much I can tell you.
I'm sure we all do, Shachar. What's a nice Jewish boy like you, Shachar, being a builder?
A nice. Well, it goes years ago when we first came to England. We lived in Stamford Hill, and we lived in a house that needed a lot of repairs, and we went out and we asked the builder to come and give us an estimate, and it was, I mean, it was like very, very, very expensive. We could never afford to pay that kind of money. So that's, if you really want to think about it, that's when it first started. So.
And how long ago was this?
It was, well, we came to England in 1972. It was about, I would say about 75, 76, something like that.
Right.
Around that time.
And then you started exploring that maybe you could be doing.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about being a builder at the time.
Right.
Just thinking about doing what, fixing the house up so that my mother can live in a nice house and comfortable. There was no ulterior motive. Although I was always, since I was a little boy, I was always used to fiddle about with things. So yeah, that was the motivation. Is we just wanted to do it cheaper than what the quote was, because we couldn't afford to pay that money.
Yes.
So,
and then one thing led on to another, did it?
Yeah. I started with my brothers, and we used to do over like Sundays and bank holidays, evenings. We used to go and do bits of carpentry, decorating, stuff like that, and it just progressed from there.
And what sets you apart, Shachar, from being a reputable quality builder?
What sets me apart? I love my job, and whoever's house I work in, it becomes my house. So I would never do anything in their house that I wouldn't do in my house. And I think that was my motto from day one, not the usual attitude of builder, it's not mine, I don't care. I do care. And however I work for, their house becomes mine. That's basically it.
And what would you say, Shachar, if somebody is wanting to have their house decorated, refurbished? What procedures should they go through in order to get some quotes and things like that?
Well, first of all, the best thing to do is to talk to friends, relations, and speak to them, because you always find somebody that has some work done, however small or big, and they say, oh wow, we've got an amazing builder, or don't touch that builder, don't, etc. So I would, that's my first thing. If you think of doing any work, you speak to your friends, your family, anybody that you actually respect and known for a while, that they're not going to just palm you off to somebody that is useless or is a con artist. That's the best place to start. And then you ask questions if you want to ask. You see what jobs they've done and speak to other people that they've done work for, and then you make a decision on the basis of what you hear.
Do you think, shall we say, foreign builders have had a harsh press, Shachar, in perhaps not doing work as they should be doing?
You will find on all kinds of builders, good and bad. Right? The problem is, when they first came along, the prices were cheap and they were very tempting. And the main problem is they don't build according to our
regulations.
It's not that, well, some of them probably are bad and they are rip-off, but the good ones, right, it's not, some of them not intentionally, right, they just don't know.
Where?
They don't know. They don't know because they think, well, in Eastern Europe or wherever it is, we build like this, or maybe they weren't even builders. You know, they come home, they come to England, and straight away they start sending flyers, builders, decorators, and a lot of them don't know, but there are some good ones. I mean, you can't take that away. I mean, I have Romanians working for me who are carpenters and electricians, and they're top. They're very, very, very good. They have very high standard of work and very high quality work. I mean, there's no question about it. So you have to be careful. I mean, the rule is whatever you take, whether they're foreigners or people who've been living here for 20, 30 years, or English, or whatever you want to call them, you have to be careful.
Have you heard any nightmare stories from any of your clients?
Where do you want me to start? Where do you want me? Yeah, we had all sorts of nightmare situation where we had to go and put work right that other people have done. I can tell you loads of stories.
How can people avoid having these nightmares then, Shachar?
As I said, you've got to first of all ask your friends and relations, and then if you're really not sure, then you have to find like a qualified or somebody who's an expert, like a surveyor or an architect, who, not just because they're called an architect or surveyor or whatever, that means that they're going to know what they're doing, but you have to make sure that the person you are putting in charge, right, or looking after the job, knows what he's doing and he's working for you, not for the builder.
And would you suggest getting more than one quote, Shachar?
Yeah, I always tell my customers, you know, if you want to know what the right going prices are, yes, please go out and get one or two quotes. Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with that at all. And that way you know what the going price is.
And even though Britain is in recession, what's the building trade like, Shachar? Is it busy or quiet? How's it going?
Well, I find it busy. I mean, there's always work. I've always had work. I've been doing it for about 30 years or more.
Why would you say you're busy, Shachar? Because you give the right quality product at the right price?
Yes, I think so, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's basically it. And also people have a trust that they've heard from other people, and that I would not do anything that is not up to standard. And if we happen to do some work which is proven that we did not do right, for whatever reason it is, right, we don't disappear like other builders, you know. We'll go back to the customer and say, what aren't you happy about? And the customer says, look, and then we work something out and we sort it out for them, and we go to the next job. It's not a matter of a lot of builders, you know, once they finish the job, they don't want to hear about you anymore. They've been paid, they want to be gone, that's it.
So you try and have a relationship with your client?
The services before, during and after, which is very important.
And do you do projects throughout London?
Yes, all over the place.
Nationwide?
No, not nationwide. We're down in the city, in the West End, Golders Green,
Right.
Hendon.
And what would be your final message to Jewish Online Magazine viewers, Shachar, about, you know, getting a reputable builder like yourself?
Be very careful who you're going for. Right, ask around, as I said before, friends, close family, you know, some people who actually, and if you really, really, really want to be sure, go and see the work, you know, make sure that you're happy, you're satisfied. And not only the work, how the builder is treating you, how the builder behaves, you know. There's some builders who are very short-tempered and they scream and shout, you know, and they get very angry and intimidating, you know. That's also very important, you know, to actually speak to the customer in the right way, because at the end of the day, when you ask a builder to come to your house, it's very it's very difficult. I have good ears because they come in and they rip out your house to pieces. You know, you don't have any corner in the house, and the house is all in a mess, and they're breaking walls down, and you're stopping your central heating and cutting off your electricity. So it's always difficult. So it always makes a big difference if the builder is actually a mensch, basically. He thinks that, you know, if somebody was in my house and doing the same thing like that, how I would feel about it and what I would like to be. And that's why I said to you before, when I work in somebody's house, that house becomes mine. Becomes my house, and there is no way I would do anything in somebody's house that I wouldn't do in my house.
That's very nice.
That's how I've always been all my life, and I think that's the major point that people actually get. They see that I actually care about the quality of work, and I basically care about them as well as the work, you know, to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible without any snags or hitches or any major disasters, even small little irritating things like, you know, the fuse box. As soon as the builder leaves 6 o'clock, no electricity or no central heating. Customers has my number, my home number, my mobile. If my mobile switched off, they can always get me at an emergency, and we'll always be there or send somebody out to sort it out for them, and to make their life as easy as possible while the work's being done.
Shachar, thank you ever so much for joining Jewish Online Magazine, and have a great day, even though you probably got up at 4 o'clock this morning.
You too, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, thanks.